to start?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm Keith Rosenberg, aka DJ Trip of Trip Theory and Spacemen and 2BMF and Wizzy and Bassman and all that
Don't
stuff.
forget Weasel.
And Weasel. You go.
Sorry. Danny B, aka Trip Theory, aka Spaceman, DJ Subliminal.
System 2.
System 2. He knows more about me than I do.
How'd you two meet?
Go into the story about Mark's machine again, and I can pick up from there.
No, but that's not how we met as to
How did we
work
meet
as
as far as
Trip Theory.
like-
How did we meet period? Like ever?
Yeah.
First time?
You know what? Yeah. I don't know.
That one,
I don't remember, bro. Definitely in the music business.
I believe it was somehow on stage at one of the shows. It had to have been, or maybe you were with Laz at one of the shows, and I was doing a 2BMF show, I believe. I think I met, and then you had come over my house with somebody. I don't remember who you. Man, this is a long time ago. I don't even remember. To you?
It sounds good to me.
Movie lips. I'll talk. I don't. I honestly don't remember how we met, but it has to have been at one of the 2BMF shows. I'm sure that he was probably with Laz. and I was doing-
Copied? Nah, probably even before
No, it
that.
was
I knew you
before
then.
that.
Actually,
And
no, I know how we met. We met through Mike Jewish. My brother was good friends with Mike.
We
They went
used
to
to
school
go to
together.
okay, and we used to go to parties and go to the same parties and stuff like
Yes.
that. In
We met through
near
my brother.
near my neighborhood. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There we go.
And did you two know that you were both in the same kind of music?
No, I don't
Nah,
think so.
This was like so early on. It was like
Uh-uh.
before any of this stuff, I think.
I don't think we ever really spoke or had like a
This is
long
high school,
conversation.
bro. This is like high school.
Yep.
So I think it was before any of this stuff.
And probably was at one of Mike Jewish's cousin's house. They used to have parties there all the time, and that's where it was at
Right.
the Fogels.
Yeah,
right?
the Fogels.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to have met there. It has to have been.
Yeah.
So how did it turn into a professional relationship?
Well, that was years.
This
down
is
the
funny. After all of our freestyle, bass, after all of that, and we've already been established artists and producers, I started doing techno music, and like Keith probably said early on in an interview, that we met up. I showed him what I was doing at a friend's house. He seemed very interested. Music at this point was ready for new change. There was bass was kind of like on its way out, commercially, I want to say.
Right.
1996.
You got the times. You know the times.
1996.
No,
Right?
yeah, by 96.
1996.
Yeah, I want to say 1996. Yeah, I thought you said 86.
He came over when I was in the middle of doing the bass to the old school
Right.
part two.
Yeah,
I
he was
believe it
right. He was doing all remakes of old stuff, bass style. And I showed him my stuff, and he was definitely interested. He had that deal with Inner Sound, and he wanted to go this route. Keith approached me with the project, and at the time I was doing System 2 with a friend of mine, Caesar Cologne, and we were locally successful and just very busy with that project because it was just demanding. We were doing remixes for people. We were just doing a lot of things. It was just very busy. I would love to have jumped on it with Keith. I knew Keith's past. I knew his history. And still haven't worked with him at the time, though. You know, if I would have known all these problems that he was having with all these other people, I would have ran. I'm just kidding. But, so Keith went on his own. And then I want to say we ran into each other again when Bo Crane hired me as System 2 with Caesar to do a Christmas bass album. He liked our style. He liked the techno bass stuff that we were doing. And we ran into each other at a mutual partner's studio. Got into talking again, and he was showing me his stuff that he was doing. Right? Is that what was happening?
Yeah.
He was showing his earlier Trip Theory productions that he was doing, and I was very impressed from what he was doing because I didn't really know Keith more as a musician, as as a beat programmer. But the stuff that I was hearing, I was very impressed with. And at that time, I was like, wow, we started talking, and they brought me in to do a song on their album called The Bassmen Are Coming. Well, we called it The Spacemen Are Coming, but the sample was The Bassmen Are Coming.
Right.
And then we just started bullshitting and talking and say, how crazy would it be if we put together a band and we're like kind of introducing the Spacemen to the world via this album. We knew this album was going to do really well because it was very different than a lot of people were doing right now. The Florida break scene was very large, but in my opinion, a lot of the productions were cheesy, but that's what it was in. Our stuff was more intelligent. It was
Not
more
as
musical,
monotonous.
not as monotonous, and it told a story. We could do a 9-minute song, and people would not get bored of it.
You know where you are, like you know if you're in the beginning or the end or the middle of the song. But
We would
whereas
break it
a lot of
down.
stuff you don't know where you're at in the song.
We were breaking it down, blowing it up, breaking it down. We were telling a story. You know, it wasn't just the same crap over and over. So we got together with a good friend of mine. His name was Steve Koch. He was one of the larger promoters, rave promoters down here. And we pitched him the idea, and he thought it was great because he had all this money to burn. He was making so much money from the rave scene that he wanted to invest in something. So, you know, he trusted in my music. He knew my past. He knew of Keith. And we started, me and Steve started a record label called Innovision Music that was parallel with Innovision Productions, which was the party stuff that he was doing. So, needless to say, the Spacemen were born. And Keith and I started our journey as partners. You know, we'd known each other for, I want to say, how many years? Like 10 years prior to that. Just, you know, as acquaintances, running into each other at shows, him doing his thing, me doing my thing. But we never actually collaborated on anything. We knew each other's talents, and we were just busy. We were just, you know, busy just trying to make the hustle. And 14 years later, here he is, Master Wizzy.